Greetings and welcome into Ankh Plays. Thanks for joining me here in the capital of Anvilseal, here in Dwarf Fortress mode. And after dispatching a Cyclops and a poisonous Forgotten Beast last episode and completing our museum, it is time to work on another project. And this is going to be the project that we started down here. Our dwarves have been working on clearing out this area for quite some time. And it is now time to build some dojos for our dwarves who want martial training. We need to take care of Seabrick's desire for battle axes, though. We'll make some battle axes there for our Duke, keeping him happy. And I thought what we would do would be to... We still haven't finished dealing with our clothing issue. The clothing industry is more than fine. We'll just start by saying that. So there's no problem with the clothing issue, but we still have a lot of dirty clothes in the fortress, and that does need to be remediated. Unfortunately, it's not going to be something that is going to be taken care of in one fell swoop. As you can see, there are a large number of dwarves that are working on dumping items, and we still haven't gotten through a large number of dump item jobs that were generated when we did that request quite a while ago. So with that in mind, we still need to be mindful of, what we are working on here. However, I think it is time, or at least it's prudent, to start thinking about how we are going to design our dojos. And I'm calling them dojos for lack of a better word. I might change the title or the description of them at some point here. And the reason for that is... Really? Again? Oh, okay. We need to make some bolts now. Okay. The reason for that is because we don't want too many things stacking up on our dwarves. Definitely don't want that to happen. But we do want things to keep going within the fortress. And so I'm thinking that for our design with our dojos is we've been going with a lot of square and rectangular buildings. So I'd like to do something that's a little bit different. I'm not entirely certain what that means. So we're going to play around with some designs today. And we might end up making all of the dojos just a little bit different. But the idea is going to be that we're going to put dwarves who want martial training, but we don't want in the military, in a combat squad that trains maybe twice a year. And during that twice a year, they will learn wrestling. There's not going to be any weapons involved, and they won't really need armor, so there won't be any uniforms. You can just wear plain clothes. And you come down to the dojo, and you do some combat, and this area is kind of the area that we set aside for that. And I only think that we need 3, maybe 4 of these buildings. That's probably overdoing it, if I'm being 100% honest. And so, we'll definitely set it up that way, but it's definitely not going to be something that we just need a large number of them. 3 or 4 of them, and I think that we will be good. So let's start with some walls. And I'm thinking that for these buildings, we want to make them sizable, like the pyramids. But we also want to make them accessible and useful. And somewhat symmetrical would be nice. It's a nice to have. Make kind of a long-ish wall here. And honestly, I think this is the type of thing that we really need here. That's it. It's not anything crazy, but I would like to have kind of a unique shape. So let's do something like this. Yeah, I like that. And then we'll kind of do the same thing over here. How long is this? 9? Okay. Really? Oh, yeah, okay. And we're just going to make a few of these because eventually we've got all these dwarves that want martial training, you guys, and we really don't want to leave them out in the cold with that. I think it's really important to try and meet the dwarves' needs. One, two, 3, 2. That should work. Yep. And then I think maybe let's invert this pattern for the other dojos. Right? And then we'll have, we'll go 1, 2, 3 down. This is where I'm going to lose all of my patience for this, and I might just go with a different set of buildings here. Wow, everybody wants us to build something here. Good thing our resources on this map are pretty much unlimited. And yeah, this is looking good. I like where we're going with this. Let's see. That needs to be here. I think that's how far we go with that, right? That's 8 long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should give us 8 as a total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Like it. So far, so good. Dwarves are always exuberant construction workers. Just one more than here. It's interesting that they didn't go here. Oh, you know what? It's because the burrow is still on. That's why. Probably should repaint the burrow now that that's in front of my mind. Put this little section in here as well. Come on. It's like they're not working on this. There's something suspicious is going on here. Sure enough. Sure enough. Don't like doing this, but it seems like it'll work for now. Whoops. Okay, and then yeah, just closing these sections back up. I think that's sufficient, as long as we close it up here, and then we'll have a door here. Of course, once we get all of the walls constructed, we'll do some streets out here as well. And whoa, hold on a second. Oh, no, that's right. That's right. I almost canceled that job, and I'm glad that I didn't. There we go. Let's make sure that... more bolts. Gosh, you guys are all demanding. It's like he walks around, and he checks all of the bolt throwers. And if he finds one that doesn't have the allotted ammunition, why, he orders some more. I suppose, as far as nobles go, that is a... it's a very decent type of thing. All right, we got rhyolite floors in. Let's put our rhyolite floors in. And I like to do something in the center here. I'm not quite sure what. But this might be like a statue place. Something like that seems like might be appropriate for this area. I'm not sure what to do with that central courtyard just yet. Okay, we've got all the orders for the floors in. This will slow everyone down from throwing dirty clothes away. We've got a camel. It's ready to be dinner once again. Probably should be some statues in here as well. But I haven't convinced myself on what exactly those should be. These are almost like temples to a god of war, perhaps. So maybe we can find a god of war and elect this area as a place to worship that god. We'll make it something like this. Bomb wreck the outrageous cuts. 9 worshippers and no temple. Congratulations. You now have a temple to the god of war nestled amongst the dojos here in Anvilseal. I like that design. It kind of lends itself to a nice, little bit more circular, perhaps teardrop-shaped temple. We can absolutely gussy that thing up and make it look really amazing once we get the dojos set up and everyone assigned. And yeah, let's do that for right now. We want to name this thing War God Temple. And no, citizens only, please. There's only 9 worshippers here. It's a shrine, of course. The next is going to be at 2,000. We actually could spend some time putting this together into a really nice area. And I noticed that we have, if I remember correctly, how much gold do we have? Well, we only have 38 gold bars, so maybe that's not such a good investment. But we have a very large number of silver bars. And so I think what we'll do is we will make the floors out of this temple silver. This will be a little bit of a more of a bespoke temple, perhaps. And, we've got the opportunity to do some really creative things with this. And I'd like to take that chance. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make all of this here silver. And we're going to expand this temple out in all directions, north, south, east, and west. And it's time for our military to go back to training, because it is it's finally year 65, guys. I leave the game paused too much, he said as the game was paused. We've got some doors that I'd like to put into this place. There's a building present here. Okay. Let's look at the doors that we have, because I think we want to make some more. We have 2 gold doors, silver doors, zinc doors, granite doors. A lot of doors. You know what I'm thinking of portals. And I would like to put some portals into... this temple. And so once we get all of these dwarves kind of done with the building initially of these dojos, then I think what we want to do is we'll start decorating. We'll start decorating what we have here, and it's gonna end up looking really nice, you guys. I promise. So we got a silver thing there. We only have 2 green glass portals though left. So that's what I really was interested in knowing, is how many of those we had created. I made one joke one time, and now I'm typing green grass into everything. We've got the glass, so I'm not really worried about, I do like the way that they look, so we're just going to leave it at that. We'll make 10 of them, and that should be fine. And we can take a look at this, and we can actually repaint this zone. Let's bring it all the way out. I swear I know what I'm doing. And all of this stuff is going to be engraved and whatnot, so, throw some granite doors on our dojos. But yeah, this temple here to Bomrek, the god of war, is going to signify, north, south, east, west, our civilization's stretch, and that we will defend from all sides. We haven't really gone on the attack, so I can't really say that. Let's throw one down here. That'll be the last portal that we have for now. Okay, excellent. We got people putting in more floors. We got people that are going to start smoothing these walls. I kind of like this this look here. We do need to smooth this area here. We'll just leave those guys in an area where the sides of this area get smoothed. And then, of course, in this area as well, just along the corners here, perhaps. I like it. And yeah, then we've got. Yeah, this is okay. Now the street over here is going to have to go around Noshtath. And so I think what we'll do is we'll go down here like this. We'll drop the smoothing down. And then we'll go back up here. But before we do that, Logum Alathderol, the butcher, has given birth to a girl. Another child born in the fortress. Let's go ahead and meet the little scamp. Right after we finish our street. Or the designations for our street, shall we? And then, just because I'm feeling very generous, boom. We've got... uh-oh. We also lost a turkey. Some sparring going on, no problems. All right, so we need to take a look at this turkey, because that's no doubt somebody's pet. What happened? Logan Bolt Honored has given birth to a baby girl. And her name is Aerith Bookclap. Let's meet her. Let's see. Logum. That's not confusing at all. They married each other. They're both named Logum. Where's Dad? 39 years old. This is a young couple. Really young couple. This is their first child. Only daughter. Thikutrag. 0 years old. Gaba, she says, good with language. Disdains friendship. Strong, not creative. Recovers quickly and overconfident. Do tell. Udar worshiper. Because that's predetermined. You know, right as soon as you're born, we know which gods you're going to worship. And that's all that she knows. It looks like both of them are actually quite near to one another. Yeah, I mean, of course, mom's right here. And then her husband is... Yeah, they're right next to each other. They just had the baby right here in the entrance to Anvilseal, right next to the central shaft. Let's just double check. Do you guys have good accommodations? Raising a family can be hard. Yeah, okay. They're fine. They're actually living out on Micah Alley. The northwest part of Micah Alley, at least. Well, that's great. Congratulations and welcome, Aerith. Hopefully you're actually interested in books, because that would be great. Let's go find out what happened to this turkey. The turkey is gone. Uvash is the turkey's name. Okay. And where has the turkey been taken? Okay, I bet you it's this dwarf right here. Cog, the clothier. Syrup Shanks. Yeah, he's hauling Uvash. Excellent. Okay, back to the problem, or not problem, but the task at hand. Because we've got these dojos, and they're getting built. We've got a large number of dwarves that are kind of hopping along here. And building out what can only be described as, I don't know, the Hall of War? Is that what we're going to call it? I can't tell you. I don't know yet. It seems like this might be the Hall of War. I like that. Now, zooming out, just a little bit to kind of see that. We've got the teardrop shaped dojos that are going to be for our combatants. And then we've got the temple to Bomrek in the center, which they do have 9 worshippers. They didn't have a temple before. So now they've got a temple, right? Good on ya. War God Temple, Bomrek the Outrageous. And it's almost ready to be recognized as, you know, the Sanctum of Healing. That's an odd temple name. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Maybe pick a different name for your temple, guys. Next question, and this is $1 million question. Do we have more doors? We do not yet. So we need those portals. That'll be one of the things that we're waiting on here. But we have plenty of work that the dwarves can do here, above and beyond just, you know, what we're seeing here. We can't furnish the temple just yet, but I think that this calls for a special job for Solon, Legend Carver. And I'm noticing that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 corners. We've got 16 corners. Yeah, 8 to each side. That would be lovely places for statues. And so I think we need to go down here. And we've got Solon's stone shop here. We're just going to make this a stone shop, and we're going to move his stone shop back up here. So this is going to become a stone worker's workshop. And then we're going to actually kick that out. And general work orders allowed is going to go up to whatever, 5. Okay. We'll go up to 5 here. And then up here, yeah, we made this 0, so this one isn't taking anything. And this one is also assigned to Solon. That's odd. Free for anybody to use. Okay, just wanted to make sure that, yeah, free for anyone to use. And I'll zoom in just a little bit. We were taking a look at our dojo's shape to make sure that we had that right. General work orders allowed, none. Solon's the only worker, Legend Carver. And you're going to have some work to do when you come back. And the only thing that I'm trying to decide right now is if we do these statues out of stone, or if we do them out of a metal, like perhaps iron. In which case, Solon would not be the guy that does it. Now, we could take his skills and just see if he's a metalsmith, but it doesn't look like he is. Gosh, he's done a whole bunch of different things, though. Oh, this isn't the right Solon. Or maybe it was. Oh, it definitely was not. All right, let's look at his skills. Planter, stone carver, stone cutter, mason, cook, crafter, cleaner. Yeah, not even close on the metalwork. We don't have a lot of really strong metal workers in the fortress. So let's see if we can find one. And I think that the best way to do that is to go into the labor menu. And we're going to add a new work detail. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to call this Metalcraft. Now, I have no intention of actually making this a work detail. At least for now. But I am interested in finding out who makes, like, in Dwarf Fortress. Let's just ask this. In Dwarf Fortress, who makes metal statues? And it is the blacksmithing labor. Interesting. So let's make blacksmithing, and then let's hit done. And then we're going to go back to... Not that. And we called it Metalcraft. But we only have one novice blacksmith. Can you believe that? Well, I'm starting to lean towards perhaps not using... Oh gosh, I don't want that to be the thing that we wanted to make this place nice. And making metal statues, you want someone who's at least decent at it. So here's what we're gonna do. We are going to go in here and we're gonna delete that thing. We're gonna get rid of it but we do know that we want to set something like that up. So instead, we are gonna go and give Solon, Legend Carver, some work to do here. And we want to give him... You're going to make some statues for us. Whoops. Make some stone statues for us. And we're actually going to need 16 of these stone statues. And... Oh, man, it would be great if we could use brimstone for that. But we only have 12. So that would leave us with an additional 4 that didn't look quite right. They didn't match. Obsidian would be nice on the silver floor, and we have 17 pieces of obsidian right now. Cinnabar would also be very striking on the floor, and we've got a little bit more of that. I think I'm going to go with Cinnabar, just because of the nice red hue. And then here's what we're going to do. Let's specify... These are all the bomb wrecks. Oh, gosh. Let's go here. Let's go back upstairs. Let's look at our temple. Bomb wreck the outrageous. I don't think that's going to be enough. Ah, the outrageous cuts. Actually, it is. As a deity of the tapered irons, Bomrek most often takes the form of a female dwarf and is associated with war and fortresses. So, Legend Carver, make us 16 Cinnabar statues of Bomrek, the outrageous cuts. Thank you. Oops. Leaving it paused. So inside of the courtyard with the dojos, that's where we're going to have our temple to our god of war. I'm excited. This is going to look good, I think. We get those. Have they even started? They haven't even been approved. So our manager's been busy. Understandably so. He's probably out here driving or putting together some of these floors. We should probably check our pyramids and just see how many people are sparring. Nobody is training here. What is going on? Okay, so the silvery hammers are training. They're once a year training. Oh, no. I see where I went wrong. Okay, well, that's why the crossbows of iron are not training and they don't seem to ever progress, is because I had them on once a year training and they really need to be on twice a year training. Heck, you know what? They probably don't even need to be on twice a year training. They probably need quarterly training. So that's what we're going to do. You guys need to catch up. We have enough dwarves to do this, so that's a good thing. And then, oh, please tell me. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Yes, we have some very big problems here. I'm glad I looked, just to see, because everybody should be training here in granite. Ugh. Okay, so our crossbow group should be training quarterly. And these guys should be 2 on 1 off. Let's check and make sure. 2 on 1 off. There's 2 on 1 off. 2 on 1 off. Until we get some legendary axe dwarves in the fortress. All right. Yeah, now we've got some axe dwarves on there. Here is Lore, the captain. I'll tell you what. Necromancer General is visiting once again. It's now year 65. And episode 73. I don't even know if I said which episode this was. I just jumped right into building dojos. If you don't know, this is number 63. Banning exports. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, things are looking good. Okay. Well, there's some training going on in the pyramids. Laura is doing an individual combat drill, which is totally fine. Hey, it looks like we've gotten most of our work done here. I'm going to throw another floor here and here, just to kind of get us around this corner. It's just looking a little thin there. Okay. Time to have a yak roast. How about you? That actually is probably not even the correct one. But he's going to get eaten, nonetheless. Do we have... Cow, cow, cow. There's a cow. Another cow, another cow. Cow. Yeah, we got 2 bulls. We're keeping Keeper, but Keeper's not really been giving us some good offspring just yet. If you could have a talk with a bull, I suppose that might be a good idea, but something tells me he's not going to be receptive to that type of motivation. Yeah, more engravers. Just what we needed. All right, let's check on that labor and just see how the dump item jobs are going. Better. We're definitely getting there. Did we ever... And you know what? Last episode, I totally forgot to do this. Skull, tooth, bones, horn. Those should all go up to our crafting area, which is this guy here. It's a refuse stockpile. And it takes bones. Yeah, so... This is kind of an embarrassing area of the fortress. We should have a much more elegant way to do that. But we currently don't. Looking back at this area now, I think that we might have some room to do some stuff around the sides here. And maybe if you get a kill on, say, a Forgotten Beast or something like that, you get a statue of yourself around here. And we just start memorializing those kills that dwarves get. Oh, another one. We just start memorializing those kills that dwarves get. We were trying to do totems, and that just got really, really difficult to... It's kind of unwieldy. Another yak bull. Goodbye. Sorry. Everyone's banning exports, which is fine. I don't mind that. We don't really need anything, if I'm being honest. If we needed something, I would be much more stressed out. Look at all those copper bolts in our training facility. It might be a good idea at the beginning of this month to have these practice fire for a little bit and see if we can get some folks down here to do that. So I think maybe let's do that. And I forget how to do that. We want... Yeah, practice fire. That's what we want right there. It'd be nice if that tooltip was on this screen as well. This does take a lot of time, though. And it generates a lot of jobs. Here they come. No one has been shot yet, which I'm a little surprised. I'm not sure why all those are getting forbidden. But just staying strong on this type of thing, I think, is really important for our dwarves. Okay, so this is getting forbidden automatically, and I think I did this in a moment of panic when we were being sieged, or we had somebody invading. I don't really want that to continue to happen, though. And so let's go ahead and see if we can find... Yeah, forbidding. Forbidding used ammunitions during sieges is what I want. Forbid your dead during sieges, yeah. Yeah, so that should take care of that problem, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. Let's see if that works. Unpausing. Nope, it didn't quite work. Or maybe that was already going to happen. Let's see. Nope, that's working just fine now. Okay, excellent. Why are you walking in front? This is... Oh my god. Are you guys seeing this? I mean, no one's getting hit. I don't know how they're managing to do that. These things fire like a gazillion rounds a minute. You put two of these things together, or one of these things, and it's basically like an A10 Warthog. And no one was injured. No one was injured. That is beyond belief. Been working at this for 3 days. Here's a miner. Domas. Let's take a look at your skills. He's a legendary miner. Combat, I guess, is siege engineer. Yeah, adept. I should hope so. Who is this? Cattle. Seabrook should be down here as well, somewhere in this mess of dwarves. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, somehow they're managing to avoid this. There's Dabbles. He's loading the bolt thrower, which for some reason you have to stand in front of the bolt thrower to do that. It's a great siege operator. Oh man, they level up pretty fast as well. And it looks like they can build archery skill with these as well. These bolt throwers. I mean, so this is really cool. I'm glad that Zach and Tarn and Putnam decided they were going to put to kind of buff these things when they did the redesign, because it really is cool the way that they've got this set up. But I didn't realize that you get archery skill and siege operator skill from this. And that is just, whew, that is crazy. That is really crazy. We'll let him finish the month out like this. Unless something horrible happens. And we're gonna... yeah, lots of job cancellations because stuff is just getting picked up. There's Crazy Plank. Talented siege operator. Talented archer. I mean, you're firing so rapidly that you just have an enormous number of skill ups that are happening each time someone goes into fire. Master Siege Operator. Rith Spray Galley. That seems interestingly fitting. It's definitely her best skill. Hopefully she gets another crack at it here. I'd like to... Let's just see if she's going to go up to level 13, which I don't know if that's legendary or not. But now she's loading a bolt thrower. I think the next time that I go to design one of these bolt thrower training facilities, because this seems like a must in almost any fortress, because ideally, like, I'm just thinking about like the very beginning of the game, right? And yeah, there, Master Siege Operator, amazing. Level 13. She's like, I'm done. I'm leaving. But anyways, getting back to my point, you could build 5 or 6 of these things towards the beginning of the game, get some bolts out there. They don't even have to be good bolts. And train your entire starting 7. And basically become a stalwart defense of pretty much whatever ill-advised place to defend that you wanted to. As long as you can get a couple of clear shots on things. Like, this is just... I mean, how fast they level up. Like, you could spend... What have we spent here? 8 days. And we've seen many, 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 many levels for these guys. Like, it's not even funny. Like, Tosid here. Here's our stonecutter. He's hauling copper bolts. I'm guaranteeing you, he's a high Master Siege Operator. And he's just firing away right through his colleagues. Nobody even cares. Bam, 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 bam. He's getting... Interestingly enough, he's not getting the archery skill. These are different. But we did see some dwarves that had both of those. Now he's going off to harvest plants. Whatever. I don't want to watch you harvest plants. I want to watch you fire these siege engines. And so, anyways, I guess to my point, it's nice that these things were redesigned and that they work as expected, and that the dwarves actually have a very potent and formidable tool to defend the fortresses with. However, on the other hand, I just think that this might be a little bit too much. These guys skill up really fast. It could use to be skilled up just a little bit less fast. Maybe the fire rate gets detuned. Maybe the damage that is done gets detuned. I think it's probably easier for them to lower the fire rate because the damage is so intertwined with the combat here. But honestly, like all of the things that we have fought in this fortress, in previous fortresses that I've played, would have been formidable or deadly challenges to a group of a much larger group, a much larger force. And I think the only thing that outnumbers, or the only thing that overpowers these things is just numbers. Unless you have a whole bunch of dwarves that are on site standing there ready to fire. So I wouldn't be surprised or disappointed to see a nerf coming, although I haven't fully been sieged with some of the diggers and stuff like that, so maybe this is the best way to do things. Maybe this is the best of both worlds. Here's Nish, Master Siege Operator. And yeah, we're into the second of slate. I think I'm going to shut these down, guys, because it does generate a ton of jobs. Look at all the store item and bin. Oh my gosh. It's really a whole fortress thing. We only have a few dump items left, so, you know. Yeah. Those are my thoughts on bolt throwers. Yeah, we can do that. Hold them at the ready. A little bit of military training never hurt anyone. Let's take a look at that. I think I want to try and remember to do that as well multiple times a year. Maybe not, every episode, but definitely multiple times a year. Just to see. So we've got 3 high masters, 2 masters, a great, accomplished, professional, expert, adept, and talented. And Stumpy is still adequate. We've got him split, though. He might have been working in the fields there. But, I mean, like, Illidan, High Master Siege Operator, a lot of these dwarves here, Nish, Cattle, these guys, if you get 5 of them there, against even a large number of, if they've got the ammo, they're just going to trash whatever comes running up on them, especially if they've got an emplacement and a defensible, like, fortifications and what have you. They're just going to absolutely trash whatever it is. And I've got this thing built right here, and I think that it's definitely not a problem for this episode, because they're going to put all of these bolts back. Hopefully there'll be enough that get reloaded into these things and then placed into the stockpiles, but there's a ton of them down there. There's probably thousands down there. But this seems like a fun area to maybe, if I had the forethought, to maybe incorporate into this temple. Something like that. Or maybe, maybe a little bit more of an open range here, where the trench, there's your target, there's the trench, and then there's the bolt thrower, so nobody can walk in front. Although it seems to me like maybe that's much less of a concern than I had originally thought. But it does disrupt, noticeably disrupt my immersion, if you will, because it's giving me fits. Like, how many of these guys are going to get shot because they're walking in front of somebody who's just, you know, firing the maximum number of rounds per second that they possibly can. All right, let's check up on our trainers. Our military squads here. Okay, so Flower is in here playing with bolts. Lore is, the captain is in here. He's training. Ushat. What's going on, Ushat? Withdrawing from society. We got a strange mood here, guys. Let's take a look. He's already run off. The stoneworker. He's in a strange mood. Let's find out where he's going. Ushat Brainseal. I think he's going to claim a stoneworker's workshop. I was wrong. He's going for a Craftsdorf workshop. At least I think. Yeah. All right. Did we lose him? No, he's just hauling something very, very slowly. He's starting with granite. Let's go back up to that area. And we don't quite know what he needs just yet. But he's gathering items. That's what we need to, that's what we care about. Wasn't quite sure what was in that granite pot. Okay. So we did have this metal crafter and blacksmithing thing that I wanted to get started with. And choosing a candidate or a blacksmith that we can use to make metal statues, I think is going to be very important for our fortress moving forward. And to that end, maybe a magma forge is a good place to have a blacksmith work. And so we're going to add a work detail. And we're just going to say metal statues. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I might have two people doing this. But one of them is going to have to be trained. And I want that person, I want that dwarf, to be somebody who we think is going to be around in the fortress for a while. Who's not in the military. And who doesn't have another civic job like Fath, our broker, or our bone doctor here. And I keep just, like, the people who don't have jobs, well, they've got military gear on. Or a sacred paint. So we're just going to keep going down the order and see if we can find someone who meets that. This is literally the guy that just went into a strange mood. So he's out for now. Sigan Irishtetad. Sigan Irishtetad. What do you like, Sigan? Let's meet this dwarf and just see if he's even a candidate. He's ecstatic. He's storing an item in a bin. Disdains decorum, values harmony, good spatial sense, develop empathy, and creative. Interesting. He's hauling a lot of copper bolts right now. Okay, so he's a dabbling blacksmith. Segan handle taxed. He's definitely somebody who is creative enough to do this, I think. Um, let's see who he knows in the fortress. He's got a lot of passing acquaintances, but nobody that he has become friends with. He's part of the Craftsdwarfs Guild, the Stoneworkers Guild, the Engravers Guild. He's definitely a guildie. I don't think he has any kills. Being away from friends and family, he wants to fight. Dining in a good dining room. Where'd you go, buddy? He's drinking. Oh, we weren't following him. He's drinking over here, having some dwarven wine. Bedroom like a personal palace. And these dwarves have got it pretty darn good. He can handle stress. He's currently more rude, currently more fearless, currently more confident, currently more shameless, currently less private. Creativity, poor analytical abilities, meager ability with social relationships, easily moved with mercy, grounded in reality, nervous, somewhat quarrelsome. I really think this is our guy, you guys. All right. Segan handle text. You have been called. Ereshtetad. You were called to be the decorative blacksmith. During your sleep, little did you know that a decision about the future, about your future, was made. Okay, we got some people becoming axe dwarves. That's good. Yes, excellent. Segan, you are our man, or our dwarf, if you will. I only want you to do this blacksmithing of metal statues. That's all that I want you to do. And we've got this corner magma forge. Why do I keep putting two G's in there? Segan's Forge. This is Segan's workshop, Segan's Forge. And we... this is going to be the trick. So, we need to find the most useless metal for this guy to build up on. So, let's find... iron. We're actually kind of low on iron. Gold bars, silver, copper, nickel, zinc, bronze, brass, steel... Heck no, pig iron. Lead. He's going to make a bunch of lead statues. Can we do work orders instead? Make lead statue. Make 10 lead statues. No. I want you to be good at this. Make 25 lead statues. Can you do that for us, Segan? Will you be... At 99 years old, will you be our fortress's blacksmith? We'll find out when he wakes up. Another visitor's come to town. Ooh. Guys, this is a prophet. Udil Dorentnir. Durenatir. Durenatir? Segan will come back to you. He's down here at the base of the map. Or he was. Where did he go? She, excuse me. Olan Bolt Crude is her spouse. Udil Diamond dies. Where are you from? Well, that explains a lot. This is Crazy Plank's older sister and the king's daughter. So naturally... Naturally, I should be suspicious, right? Let's take a look at Uzel. It's not his eldest daughter. It's not his second eldest daughter. He's got so many darn kids, it's really hard to keep track of them all, if I'm being honest. This is the 8th eldest daughter. I don't think she's a threat, you guys. Not like I used to. We're going to watch her, though. I'm going to keep an eye on her, see what she does. Her husband is Olan Bolt Crude, who is not here in the fortress. We haven't seen him. Maybe he comes to visit? She's absolutely part of the royal family, so she's definitely welcome. But I've got my eye on you. Either way, I have my eye on you. Glass portals have been completed, so we'll pause and we'll come down. We'll go back down here. And we'll put these guys in. We don't need all of them. We'll have a few that are extras, if you will. This is looking good, though. I think it's ready for engraving. Let's just check our labor to make sure that we don't have any crazy amount of labor. The size of the scroll bar seems to be... There's a few dump items that are going on. But everything else seems like it's... Seems like it's in good shape. Let's go back up and take a look at Oodle. I am curious. There she is. Good intuition, gracious, musical, resist sickness, poor spatial sense, or good spatial sense, and poor focus. There's a frog in my throat. I wonder where she lives. I guess we could find out. She's definitely part of the Tapered Irons. The Standard of Strikes is a former member, and she is the Roof of Tightness. She's part of the Roof of Tightness right now. Ooh, hey, look at that. We need to unforbid the ammunition that killed that Cyclops. There we go. Okay, and Ushat, just as a quick update, Brainseal has begun his mysterious construction. Thank goodness. Welcome to the fortress. Thank you for joining us. Are you here to talk to Daddy? You didn't bring your husband with you. It's not that I doubt that you're unable to travel without your husband, but it does make me wonder. She's headed up to a temple, perhaps. Maybe her father's in here. She's talking to the mayor. She's meditating. This is Bothon's temple. Bothon's temple. Come to pray at the Golden Abbey. Just curious about the Golden Abbey. Both on Earth Cave will. Interesting. An acquaintance, huh? Who does she know? Does she know... I guess it could only be Cogsack that she ran into there. Cole, perhaps? Hey, Traction's become an axe dwarf. That's great. Good news. All right, well, she's come here to pray, obviously, and that's great. We do need to find... We need to find Seige. And what is he working on? Well, he's making lead statues. And you do know that lead is very, very heavy. And so Seige is probably going to be dragging his bones back and forth to make these lead statues. He's got, I think, 25 of them that we asked him to make. So there's going to be a large number of statue... Well, he's already made statues. Doran the Golden. Let's take a look. This is a lead statue of Doran the Golden. The item is an image of Doran the Golden with the deity of wealth, depicted as a male dwarf and a dwarf in lead by Seige. The dwarf is praying. Doran the Golden is contemplating. Not worth very much, but it's a signal of things to come. Right? Our necromancer general is visiting. This is the second time he's visited in this episode alone. I don't know how he does that either, because, I mean, we've been running the game. We're in mid-spring, right? We've been running the game a little bit more aggressively now. But Ral is still... He's slow. He doesn't move quite so fast. Stray donkey. Okay, sure. And I don't know what to tell you, but... we need to give this guy a name, too. He needs a nickname. We're just going to call him Sigs. I like that. Sigs it is. So he's already cranked out one lead statue. He's satisfied at work. I've been fine, he says. So you know what? You know, he's gonna go eat now. He's gonna have a little bit of food. But yeah, I think we made a good decision here. I really do. Rock skull totem, rock skull totem. Maybe we can make some skull totems out of these things, you know? Maybe this is our totem display. But first, Ushad Brainseal, a Dekervad, has completed his strange mood. He's created Ustantamol, a granite bracelet, and offers it to the mighty Anvils. Well, thank you, Ushad. Let's go take a look at this granite bracelet. There's a few people that seem like they've been watching him. Aerith Coppercoats, the engraver, and Stoder Tan Basement. I think he's in the Silvery Hammers. He's asleep. For some reason, he's sleeping on the floor here. Maybe she's not socializing with him. I can't imagine why you would do that. Ustantamol here. Ustantamol is a 19,100 granite bracelet. All craft storesmanship is of the highest quality. It's decorated with yak leather, encircled with bands of lead, oval aquamarine cabochons, radiant cut pink jades. This object is adorned with hanging rings of lead and menaces with spikes of yak leather. On the item is an image of dwarves in granite. The dwarves are traveling. The artwork relates to the foundation of the Anvilseal by the mighty anvils of the tapered irons in the early spring of 41. On the item is an image of the Magic Theater, the bulky donkey leather right glove in red tourmaline. That's quite the ring. It's quite the elaborate design, but that's kind of what we've come to expect. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution, Ushat, and for giving it to the fortress. That is beyond kind of you. Let's go ahead and assign it. Oh, gosh. Blameless Savior is the translation there. I like that. Ustantamol. Might be easier to say. Usually that's not what happens with those, though. I think we can all agree. We'll make this passable. And then we should probably go back down there and just make sure that it's marked for a job. Okay. So we'll unlock this. We'll keep track of the dwarf who puts it away. Who is this? No. You're not hauling anything. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. I'm warning you. Okay, that's fine. You can walk around the museum, but do not go behind the counter until you decide you're going to join this fortress. It's not happening. I'll just tell you that right now. Who's got it? Put item on display. It is Dumat Craft Blizzards. What a name, Craft Blizzards. Can you believe that? He's not stranded. He will be stranded. Put the item on display. Thank you. The sheriff comes in. Just to keep an eye on him. We're waiting for you to leave, Dumat. You could leave. Nothing is stopping you. There he goes. Got some unforbidding to do here. There we go. It's hard to tell if forbidden means just don't go through there, or for the longest time I thought it just meant don't touch it, you know? And that may still be right, but it means a little bit more in dwarven culture. Don't go in there. In fact, you were physically prevented from entering. It's on display. Ustantamol, thank you. What a lovely artifact. And a beautiful addition to our museum. At some point, we're going to have to build the second wing, or this inner circle. That'll come at some point soon. Okay, let's check in on Siggs. He wants to fight. I'll check his skills. How are we doing here? It might be a little premature. Is it blacksmithing? Like the internet told me? Yes, it looks like it. And it looked like he got 60 experience per statue. we gave him no instructions on these statues, you guys. We just said carve statues out of lead. That's it. Just carve them out of lead. We don't care what they do, what they say. So, go nuts. This is an investment from us, from the fortress. It really is. And hopefully it pays off. It's got a little ways to go on the dabbling blacksmith side of things. But once he finishes this, he's definitely going to be probably in the novice range, I would say. He might actually be in the adequate range, actually. Yeah, 420. We did have Legend Carver do some statues for us. And I think I want to go back and start quibbling about placement on these statues. And maybe we'll get some of our statues placed here. So let's set about doing that. Unfortunately, we don't have statues. Cinnabar statues. And now what's going on here? Cinnabar statue. Oh, I know. He's an axe dwarf. And as such, let's find out where Legend Carver is at. I'm guessing that he's training. Wait for dodging demonstration. Hey, you guessed it, Ankh. It's like I knew. At 55 years old, with 2 lovers and 5 children, he is diving headlong into his assignment in the Golden Axes. He wants to be creative. You'd think that making the statues would be something creative for him. But, he really is. I mean, he is a prince, technically. He's technically a prince. Hey, some migrants have arrived. We're going to pause this. So, Prince Legend Carver is... I think that this... Yeah, I don't remember what I put these guys on. Let's check their schedule. Check the schedule, because they're 2 on, 1 off. So he's only going to have 1 month to do that. I'm not in a particular rush for it. So if these guys become legendary axe dwarves in the year 65, that's 2 melee squads that have very different damage types. I think that'll be a really great goal. And then we can drop them down to maybe twice a year or once a year. Everyone else needs to train, though. Like the silver hammers are really the only ones that can't. Okay. We only have a little bit of time. Oh gosh, everybody is visiting. A tier now. We've had 4 visits, 2 from Ral, actually, which is hilarious to me, because I am keeping track of this. So that's fine that he's visiting, but we've got migrants that have arrived. So let's take a look at where they're coming in from. And let's welcome the migrants at the end of our episode here. 38 years old, Vukar Jan Bolted. Welcome. 38, female, accomplished carpenter, pump operator, woodcutter, and wood burner. Competent armor user, observer, fighter, and biter. Not dutiful, resists sickness. Poor kinesthetic sense, high stamina, brawler, and quick to despair. She is an Udar worshipper, and she is part of the Mighty Anvils. Welcome, Vukar. Thank you for joining us. The second victim, migrant, is a potter by the name of Ingish Cave Calms. 18 years old, just barely no longer a child. Disdains craftwork, disdains skill, creative, poor intuition, high willpower, good focus, no official position as a citizen, and a member of the Oily Doctrine, both on Varys. Lovely. That's 2. Do I get here a third? Yes, I do. Segan Channel Mute He's 52-year-old male, High Master Wound Dresser, High Master Suturer, Mechanic, Animal Caretaker. Wow, this guy's got some skill. We need to get him into the hospital. Values Cunning, recovers quickly, disdains Tranquility, high stamina, poor spatial sense, poor analytical ability. But yet, you would never guess. That's really amazing. We need him as an Udar worshiper. We also need him in the hospital. I'm just going to put a little note down so that I don't forget. Before we move on with our migrant wave. He's going to get a job in the hospital. He's going to bump somebody else off that's obviously probably much worse. Looking for a fourth in our migrant wave. Here's the fourth. 33-year-old female, Toulon Wound Revere. Values commerce, disdains decorum and cooperation, good memory, obstinate and gracious, and brings a kitten named Urvad. Also an Udar worshiper. Welcome. For a fifth, it's a random duck. There's the kitten. Catch up with your mom. And then Sodal Treasure Tome. 57 years old. Her spouse, Asmel Standard Leaps, should be lurking around. I think disdains introspection, high social awareness, good with language, recovers quickly, but poor empathy and low stamina. And I think that by seeing his icon here, he's going to be coming with our group. One, two. That's the fifth. We got at least 6 guys. There's 6. Is this Anvilseal? No, this is Obok. Vision standards. He also has a spouse, as talented gem cutter, creative, emotionally obsessive, quarreler, resists sickness, not easily depressed, and hateful. That's quite the combination. He's bringing his wife and daughter. That's 6. Waiting for some spouses to arrive. Here's 7. That's his spouse as the wax worker, ras worker. I think this dwarf. Let's see. Is she carrying? No. Off the screen yet. Okay, so we haven't met the daughter yet, but she is a child. She's not a baby. High stamina, tough and creative, poor focus, poor memory, and analytical ability. Worshipper of Doran the Mole. Welcome. That's 7. Here's the child. Thykit. 9 years old. Good memory, good spatial sense, and high stamina. Dutiful, sloppily, and disdains leisure time. Nothing like a dedicated young tyke like this, with a bright future ahead of him, or ahead of her. Excuse me. She's taking after her mother with the hairstyle, but those eyebrows aren't fooling anyone. That's 8. Here's our 9th. Rimtar, Bodice Crowds. 60-year-old female. Disdains martial prowess and is merciful, high social awareness, poor focus and kinesthetic sense, and not creative in the slightest. Animal caretaker, fisher dwarf, woodcutter, and woodcrafter. Udar worshiper. No kills, as you would have suspected. That's 9. And here's the 10th. Olan, Cudgel Confuses. A young woman, 18 years old, fresh out of childhood. There's nothing so important in life that it's worth telling a lie. I like that. Disdains cooperation, impatient and clumsy, single-minded, greedy, and resilient. She also worships Udar. I think we're going to have to expand the Udar temple, you guys. It's definitely going to see the ranks swelling. Welcome, Olan. waiting for an 11th, and here he is, 24 years old. Lots of really young dwarves coming in this. Butcher, Boyer, musical, values eloquence, gregarious, sloppy, not inclined to create art or to the abstract. Don't worry, we've got work for you here. Morul, thank you. Also an Udar worshiper. That's going to be 11. Do I hear 12? Well, I sure do. I think we're still waiting on a spouse. 55-year-old Lorbam Pointy Dies. High Master Butcher, adequate stonecutter. He's weak, but values decorum and tranquility. He's also emotionally obsessive. You don't see that trait very often, but I've seen 2 dwarves with it. He's prone to flights of fancy, and he's extravagant. Dorn Lumel is his deity, and doesn't know anybody in the fortress, but you're going to get to know people. Welcome. Here's 13, the Baker's Dozen, Domas, Rampart Bridged, Dishmab Sazir. This is a wannabe expedition leader, as I like to call them. Musical, good intuition, creative. He's a bit vain, disdains stoicism, and values skill. He wants to drink alcohol. We've got plenty of that. Go nuts, buddy. I need a drink. I'm uneasy. That's totally fine. I get it. I don't think I've seen this. Naglak, Grossammerstuck. I don't know who that deity is. This is a very unique dwarf as a trader. Interesting. Very interesting. 40 years old. Well, welcome to the fort. That's number 13. Let's see. Do we have 14? Sure we do. Why not? Monum, Regal Channels, is a 52-year-old with a spouse, Daten Waderns. He might actually be showing up with her. Novice Mason, appraiser, organizer, and record keeper. Good focus, disdains cunning. Intolerant and anxious and humorless and poor intuition. Novice Marksdwarf. And, the same Naglak, an impronounceable deity that we have with the Domas. So 14. Do I hear 15? I think her husband's going to be here. But first, Minkot, Tundra Oil, 54 years old. Her spouse is Edom Meshcloistered, Thresher, Milker, Appraiser, Organizer, and Record Keeper. Not inclined to create art, good with language, disdains friendship, temperate, quick to despair, and seeks harmony. Rakust is her deity. We're up to 15. Here comes number 16, Zasset Forded Lenses. Also Rakust worshiper, fearless, not musical, poor intuition, altruistic, wasteful, and overbearing. A novice miner, appraiser, organizer, and record keeper. That's really an interesting thing. Got a whole bunch of unmet needs coming in. He wants to be merry. You can certainly do that. Welcome to Anvilseal. Looking for number 17. There we go. 51 years old. Asmel, Standard Leaps. Subtle Treasure Tome is his wife. He's a worshiper of Bothon Barris. Record keeper, organizer, and appraiser, stonecrafter, and potter, a novice axe dwarf, perhaps useful if somebody drops out of the golden axes. He's tough, good spatial sense, wasteful, not musical, high social awareness, and a bit of a thrill seeker. You're going to fit in just fine, Asmel. Thanks for joining us. What, I think that's 17? How about 18? Of course, 18, right here. Okay. I had to step away for just a moment there. Okay, number 18, Lolor figure hoists. 27-year-old male. Slow to hate, low stamina, poor focus, poor memory, merciful and cheerful. Man, everyone's got that expedition leader combo. Soper and Assurer. Family is the true bond that keeps society thriving. Do you have family? No. But he is an Itnet worshiper. Lolor, figure hoist, welcome to the fortress. Looking for 19? Of course. Why would we be disappointed? Edom Mesh Cloistered. This is a spouse of someone who just joined us recently. Bone Doctor, Appraiser, Organizer, and Record Keeper, and a Butcher, of course. Disdains law and loyalty. Disdains competition. Creative, low willpower, and incurious. 47-year-old male. Has a whole bunch of unmet needs there. Occupied, craft an object, be with family, with friends, practice skill, and drink alcohol. And he worships Bomrek Zarit. Good for you. Welcome to the fortress. Do we see a round 20? Are we going to make a round number of 20? Of course we are. Segan, our labor. Hopefully you labor for more than an hour. But a novice animal trainer surgeon. And then, of course, our 3 40-year-old male. Depression prone, good with language, weak, recovers slowly, curious, values sacrifice. Doran Lemul is his god. That's 21 dwarves. We're going to go for 22, though. Here is Datin Wadrons, who is a spouse of Monum Regal Chapel channels that joined us recently. 65-year-old male. He's a brewer. Everything's fine, he says. Emotionally distant, wasteful, over-reliant on advice, disdains commerce, clumsy, and values fairness. Got a little bit of combat skills, but not much. And he worships Avuz. Well, that's 21. Are we stopping there? It kind of looks like we're It kind of looks like we're stopping there. It kind of looks like we're stopping there, and we're going to be stopping the episode here as well. A lot of stuff going on. Thanks for joining me here in Anvilseal for episode number 63 as we welcome 21 migrants to the fortress. You've got to be kidding me, guys. That's so many migrants. 21. We got to make some more beds. But not because we have migrants. We've got room for all of them. Make two beds. Thanks for joining me once again as you go on about your day. Well, don't forget to hit someone with kindness, and we will see you next time.